I think I have found the worst Spider-Man adaptation ever created. And it has a lot of fans, but it's not so bad. Like, listen, it's hilarious. Okay, it's really funny. I was watching this, and every scene I was just laughing my brains off. It was really funny because every scene with this, it's a Spider-Man adaptation with Nick Cage of all actors. They had to get Nicolas Cage to play in this, and he's not a bad actor. Just like this is not a bad series, but it's hilarious. Okay, it's really funny just to watch this because it's definitely not good. Most defendants of this series would be like, you shouldn't look too deep into it. It's just made for fun. It's just a fun superhero series, but it's not even a superhero. Like, it's not even that. This is not a superhero series. It's a detective story, barely with Spider-Man in it. Somehow, this is a Spider-Man story, okay? And the only thing that really Spider-Man does, and you'll notice in the very first few episodes, what he does is he stops a raid, and that's just it. Just he helps the criminal escape. That's it. He helps the main guy, the main villain, by stopping a raid, and the main villain doesn't get arrested. So the only time Spider-Man really interjects in this detective work is when he just messes things up in the story. The villain, okay, the villain that he saves, what about him? What about the villain? He is Silvermane, and for some reason they had to make the original Italian villain, who in the comics looks pretty menacing. Okay, in the cartoons, the animations, he looks scary. In this actor, he's just not menacing. I'm sorry to say, he's not scary in the least bit slightest. This could be like a comedic role or like a bad guy who's sort of good, but for the intents of what this guy is, the business that he is actually conducting, this actor does not fit this part at all. he just has this like sweet guy Irish accent from Dublin. They decided to make the original Italian villain from Dublin for some reason, and he's Irish. Which, okay, you had Irish mafia at the time in New York, so this does make sense. At the same time, though, this actor just does not portray this role as scary as he seems to be. Everyone in this series is like, ooh, Silvermane. What is he gonna do? This guy, he's so destructive. He's so he basically, his temper is crazy. It's off the charts. He can destroy us if he just finds out what we've been up to. And meanwhile, you have this sweet elderly dude with an Irish accent. He doesn't really do that many bad things. It's like Spider-Man. Okay, there's this whole plot with Spider-Man, Riley, the detective, played by Nick Cage. He goes in there and he steals money from him while he's sleeping so that this other lady can get out of town. Like, Spider-Man would never do this. And here's the thing. In this, he's not basically Spider-Man, right? It's so far away from the character that it might not even be him, okay? He is stealing this dude's money, the villain's money, for no reason at all, basically to pay off somebody else. And it's just so hilarious, man. It's so funny. He's basically broke in this. He has no money. He's he's an older detective who has no career, basically. And he's barely ever Spider-Man. You see him for like 2 split seconds per episode being Spider-Man, and that's where the budget went. The rest of this is just this meandering plot. It goes nowhere. It's basically just like what I mentioned with the safe and the money. It's just this like pay Peter to pay Paul sort of thing. It's just from going from person A to person B, interviewing different people, and you can say it's okay, a very standard cliche detective story that's supposed to be cliche, but they could have made it interesting. Just because you had a bunch of these novels or series back in the day that weren't that special doesn't mean this has to be. Like, for a Spider-Man story, you have to have like a good story. You can't just have a bunch of characters thrown in there that don't really do anything special. They just talk with each other. Now, Silvermane is one of the villains, right? But you have a bunch of these other ones that you can recall from the comics and the other series. You have Sandman. You have a guy that turns into stone. And by the way, they say that you should watch this in black and white. That makes it better. But it doesn't make the acting any better. Like, for a Spider-Man story, I agree that Nicolas Cage is always an entertaining actor. But for a Spider-Man story, you look at him and the faces that he's making, they completely take you out of this. It's supposed to be a superhero movie, but it just veers off way too far into goofy territory during certain points where I was just laughing. By episode 3, I was laughing nonstop with every scene with Nick Cage because episode 1, he is serious. Okay, he's kind of serious. He's in the role of this detective. It's a very realistic portrayal. By episode 3, he just didn't give a shit anymore. He just makes all these crazy faces nonstop. Like, it's like the director. I'm sorry. Like the director told him, "Dude, act normal. Please, just try to be normal." And by episode 2 and episode 3, he just completely loses it. Okay, you can tell, like, it's not so bad. It's so bad that it's good. That's the territory that we're in, because if I can't stop laughing thinking about this, there's entertainment value in there. It's not just all cringe. Okay, but the scenes where he's doing the investigative stuff is so boring. Like, I fell asleep a few times. It's just not interesting watching him walk from person A to person B. And the special effects of these villains, Sandman or whatever. It's a much more grounded kind of take, you can say, but not in a good way. They're just throwing their fists around. They don't do any of the special effects that you would really recognize in a superhero movie. Like, he's Sandman, but in all the superhero Spider-Man movies, Sam Raimi movies, you could see Sandman just like completely transform into sand. He could go different places. Like, he would jump around, he would go through like a bunch of cages and stuff like that. This dude was unstoppable. In here, it's not just Sandman. He's basically Cement Man, where he makes his fists a bit harder than usual. Like, that's his whole gimmick. Like, that's the thing. And that's basically the gimmick of every super villain monster in this movie. They just make their fists a little bit tougher and they hit the dude in the stomach, and that's it. It's the most underwhelming portrayal of super villains. Probably not the most, okay, but it's pretty stupid and underwhelming. That's all that they do. Now, Nick Cage, it's so obvious that when he transforms into Spider-Man, it's not him. That's not his body. It's someone much younger, and it's completely different. They're even like completely different, like heights. Their heights are completely, totally different. So when it's Spider-Man, it's just like, I'm not seeing Nick Cage in this, running around and shooting his webs. Like, that's not him. That's some type of action stand-in dude. It's not him. It's very obvious that Nick Cage is a little bit, I think he's in his 60s. He's kind of out of shape, whatever. Props for him for doing this, though. Like, getting him onto this is an amazing feat, and it's very fun. It's very nice, but that's just not his body when he's Spider-Man. It's so obvious that it's not him when they were doing this stuff. And Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, all of these actors, they do their own stunts. And from this, like, as far as I could tell, it was very obvious that was just not him. It's just not the same body at all. Correct me on that if you can, but I'm willing. Like, I'm so certain that that's not him. I haven't even checked this, but it just took me out of the movie. I was like, that's not Nick Cage at all. That's just not him at all. It's very obvious. And that leads into my next point, which is that there was no reason for this to be a Spider-Man movie. it could have just been a regular detective series or whatever. Probably wouldn't have batted an eye, but it's a little bit veering onto the side of profit taking from the fact that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is coming out tomorrow. Wait, that's today. It's coming out today, and it's kind of like riding that bandwagon, which is not a very good thing when you're riding the coattails of another more successful movie. But I thought this was hilarious. It was so stupid that it was hilarious. It was entertaining for certain. It was very very strange, but I did expect more from this. Like it could have been a lot more interesting, and like what really gets you into this is getting to see him transform, what made him that way. That whole story there is very interesting with the military stuff, the experiments. It's a lot of fun, but the rest of the stuff until you get there, the detective work, man, it's so god awful boring. I would not recommend. Like if you can skip that and just get to the point where you see how he turns into Spider-Man. I had a lot of questions about this, like how it connects to the other universes and that sort of stuff. But yeah, overall, entertaining, good? No, not at all. But would I watch it again? Definitely not. But would I watch it once, maybe at a party or something as background noise? Yeah, it was a fun thing, but not very good, very strange, and yeah, I was expecting something different. It took me off guard, which is always a good thing. Movies should provoke you, make you think, and catch you off guard, which this one definitely did with the scenes with Nick Cage and man, wow. Bye.